Hi, this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Today I am going to show you something completely different compared with my previous tutorial. Yes, all those three cards, they are done by the stamping and I am going to show you how. So let's take a close look. Okay, and our little birdie here. And this one is actually requested from one of you guys, and she told me she wants to see the seahorses. So there you go, it's the seahorses. So how did I get this kind of finished looking? That started is going to be a fun project. Okay, first, we're going to talk about the stamp. In this tutorial, we are going to need to use the shadow stamp. And I have been keep explaining to you what's different between the shadow stamp and the detail stamp. Here is a great example. The shadow stamp is a reverse image from the detail stamp. So detail stamp, anything you see from the package when you stamp it, that's the image you are going to get. So this is what I call the detail stamp. Detail stamp is the outline stamp. You stamp the outline on the paper and then you have to color in. The detail stamp is a reverse image. You can see the outline is white and is reversed. So on the stamp, the outline is kind of go in instead of popping out like this. So in today's tutorial, we have to use the shadow stamp. If you only use the outline stamp, like the way I just explained to you, when you use outline the stamp, when you stamp it, you only get the outline. And then of course you can go color in, but so that way you just do on the white cardstock, right? But today's tutorial, I'm working on the darker cardstock, so you're going to use the shadow stamp. That's how I created those kind of soft finish looking. So about the stamp, first we are going to I'm going to show you. So Local King's rubber stamp, we are very popular because a lot of our stamp is the shadow stamp. So when you purchase stamp on the package, you see there is the S. That means they are the shadow stamp. So the shadow stamp just is very easy to identify. The shadow stamp, the outline is reversed, is white. So, yeah, it's white, but I kind of added the color for our package. So like this one. The shadow stamp is a white outline. The detail stamp is a black outline. Okay, so and also the shadow stamp, you take a look at the stamp, they are completely flat, and the outline is reversed, is go in. So on my package, just looking for the sign S. If that have S on top, that means they are the shadow stamp. If it's a set, even though in the whole set inside have a one or two shadow stamp. So I am going to we have an owl, we have this parrot, and this one I'm going to talk about this one. This one will be perfect for the technique that I'm showing you today. See how pretty it is. And this tea time also is going to be a great one. The sunflower. So today's tutorial, actually I got idea from one of my friends. Her name is Amber from Ontario. She was working on her car, and she showed me a beautiful cards, and she showed me two cards. So that was done by the sunflower, and she used the purple, which is looks so pretty. So just make sure you are going to use a shadow stamp instead of a detail stamp. Okay, that's how we are going to do that. So that's the paper, the rubber stamp, and also I'm going to use a background stamp just to give it a little bit touch up. And then today's tutorial, we don't actually use impact. So this is a brand new product, is coming soon, so it's almost on the way. I just want to give you a little bit preview. So in my previous tutorial, I always talk about I am up for the challenge. I like to buy something that I can use more than one time. So this is a great example that I'm going to show you. So this one is the stamp. It's a kind of combination with detail stamp and also shadow stamp. You see the flower, they have a white outline, right? So that's a shadow. But I also have a this flower container that's a black outline, so that's a detail. So this combination is detail and shadow together. They come with 3 die cut I'm going to show you, and I was just play a little bit. It's a lot of project on my schedule, so just one at a time, right? And just by one stamps combo set like that, I create these, I create these, I create these, and I create these, and I create these, and I create these, and the least and least. And I still have a lot of idea I need to try to kind of play with it. So if you like the channel, like a Local Kings channel, this is a channel that you can find a lot of things and learn a couple of a new trick. And just help me. If you like the channel, give me a thumb up, not a finger. And that's start today's tutorial, and that's have fun. We're going to talk about the paper. Okay, I have a lot of funny customers. If you want to see how funny they are, you are going to just check those comments. They laugh under this tutorial. Not this tutorial, my other tutorial. It's so much fun. One of the ladies said, you know what, Lisa, I had better have my check, send it direct, paycheck, send it direct to you. You know, rubber stamp is so much fun. I know, because I am a stamper, and then when I started, I am, you know, every time I come back home, I have to hide my bags, I have to hide my bills, I pay cash, I don't pay the credit card, so that's easier to hide. This is what I do, you know, I really don't, you know, the hobby is for fun. I don't want to put you guys in the trouble. So before I started my business, this is what I do. I have a jar, and every time I have like a quarter. Canada is easier because we have a loonie and a toonie. So one toonie is probably like $1.25 Canadian US. So I have a jar. Anytime when I have a loonie and toonie, I just put that jar, and then after a while, any money I have in that jar, I spend on my craft. So I think that's a good idea, you know, that way you don't you don't feel so painful, you know, when you see something you really like to have it, and then I really don't want to put you in the trouble. So that's something I did before, and I think is a great way to control your budget, and is a good idea. So let's talk about the paper. Today's project, we have to use a darker color cardstock. Most of the people, they use black, but I love black. I always wear the black because I look thin. Make me look thin. I'm just lying myself, but well. So I usually just use a black, but on my project, I like a colorful stuff because it's just make you happy. And so instead of a black, I use a darker purple, darker brown, and the darker blue, which is the one I'm going to use today. So those cardstock, they are not like a fancy cardstock. They are just the regular cardstock that you use it for your craft. But I was wondering if I spend a little bit more money for like a better quality cardstock, would they turn out to be better? No. Can you tell all these colors, are they different? They are all the same, right? So this one is actually expensive cardstock. I think people use this one for drawing, but I really don't find what's different. So in this today's tutorial, you know what? Just use your regular cardstock and just use a darker color. They will work just fine. And then let's talk about the color pencil. The color pencil is a little bit tricky. You know those kids crayon, those very cheap, like $2-3 a package. Those crayon, they don't really. They can do for kids. It's good enough. They can drawing on the white cardstock is good enough. But if you want to do something special on the darker cardstock, those cheap crayon like a Crayola. Oh, I hope they don't watch this tutorial. Those Crayola marker, they don't really show well. So it's a good idea that you can purchase a set of good water-based watercolor pencil, or I think these are too many different kinds of pencil, and so just I will put the link on top, and this one is the one I have, and can you believe it? I have this box marker over 20 years. And then they are still in the good shape. So, and then even though a lot of color is missing, like I can't find my white, but they still work well. So this is one of the choice. And to be honest with you, you don't need a 72 color. 36 color will do, 24 will do too. So this is this mark and this watercolor, and this watercolor pencil you can kind of blending with water. There's the other kind of watercolor pencil. No, sorry. Color pencil is more wax. I think Crayola, they are not watercolor pencil. They are more like a wax finish. But if you have something in handy, just give it a try. They maybe work. But this tutorial, because this is the only things that I have, I am going to just use this watercolor pencil. Okay, so and then you know, a good tool, they will last forever. So like I said, this one has been sitting my tutorial for over 20 years. I used to use this one when I was teaching. Okay, so and then this one I bought it from a garage sale. I think I paid like $2 for that. This is kind of metallic color, and then you can use it too. Also, this one I have over 10 years. I've never used it before. So you can use some. It depends on what kind of project you're working on top. But today I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to just stick with this one. And then, you know, be honest with you, I'm going to show you I am going to only use 10 colors. So that's all you need. Probably less than 10. Okay, so and you are going to need one pigment impact. So this is a color box, a pigment impact. You can use any impact and make sure it's a pigment. How to tell is a pigment and how to tell is dye base. Usually pigment impact, usually, okay, not 100%. Usually pigment impact, their cover is clear. And then the dye base color usually is not seen through. So that's what I found my pigment impact. If you go take a look, most of the pigment impact, they are colored like a clear. Yeah, so you need one good color box impact, and you need a white color and a pen, a nice ink pen. And then this Uniball, if you have one, if you don't have one, it's not a big deal. I use it because I can't find my white color pencil. Okay, so that's pretty much about it in the regular cardstock, and that's started. And then I am going to use the Toot Toot. I give a hoot. Okay, so I'm going to use Lisa, and then I have my stamp here, and I have my cardstock here, and then I have this cardstock. This is actually one side is kind of texture, so I'm going to just use the other side is more flat, and let's see is work or not. Maybe it doesn't work. I have to change something. Okay, first things, because this stamp have this kind of rectangle frame, right? I want to make sure my rectangle frame is sitting very horizontal on my cardstock. So here is the things, is first habit. I always make sure my stamp is horizontal with my acrylic block. So when I stamped it, I guiding with my acrylic block, not guiding with my stamp. So that way, every time I make sure my image is right in the center and there is straight. Okay, so this is the color box impact, and the color box impact is a pigment. And then here is something you got to be very be careful, because we don't want to over ink this stamp. Those fine outline, if you over ink, if you squeeze your ink too much, you lose that fine line. So we want to make sure we have a very clean image. I'm going to just bring it for more close. Okay, so I always, and then just be careful because they are kind of milky. So always gently rubbing your stamp first. Rub. Okay, rub. And after you see the rubbing part, you are going to gently tap. Only that stamp image we want to have ink. We don't want to ink any other place. Like in the bottom of this red rubber area. See, you can see the bottom, this part, the bottom of the owl, is not really, you can still see that rubber color. So just gently keep pop, 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 like a tap, 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 and make sure everywhere is nicely ink. Okay, gentle, don't squish, squish. Don't squeeze your impact. Just gently tap, 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 tap. Okay, I think that's pretty much about it. And then we're going to stamp. And then remember, so my cardstock is on the table. If you have those grid panel, is good. And remember, I am going to stamping right in the middle. Okay, give a nice push, push, push. Try to, make sure all the ink go on top the blue cardstock. Okay. And just in case if they stick on top, so just give a little bit massage in the back. And that's it. Whew, that's perfect. So that's good enough. I can see, you know what, I can still see my cardstock have some kind of texture. So just in case, I am going to find a regular cardstock and stamp one more time. Okay, so I found a piece of cardstock, and you can see this cardstock is much smoother. So this one, the one I have a little bit texture, I'm not sure, but I think they maybe create a beautiful color. I don't know, but we will find out soon. Maybe that's another beautiful mistake. So, and then one more thing I forgot to mention when I stamped that one. So this is just a plain blue, navy blue cardstock, right? What I like to do is, because I don't really like the background is completely just blue, it's kind of boring. So I just grab an impact. I try to use the darkest navy blue, but it doesn't really show. So I just use a brown, and I kind of just rub, okay, on top of your cardstock. Just kind of create some texture like this, and before you stamping that with the white pigment. So just make this card is more interesting. Okay, and then now I'm going to stamp my owl, and I'm going to use my white color box. And remember, gently tap, 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 rub, rub, and tap, tap. Rub, rub, tap, tap, rub, rub, tap, tap, rub, rub, tap, tap, rub, rub, tap, 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 tap. No, rub first and tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, make sure they are nicely ink. Only the stamping racing area allowed to have ink. Okay, here, not allowed to have ink. If you have ink, clean it, because you don't want that extra ink on your cardstock. And remember, always guiding with your acrylic block, not with your rubber, because sometimes those rubber is gumming when we trimming it. You don't get a nice line. So if you follow the rubber, you probably get a crooked image. Give a little bit of massage in the back, and that's what it looks like. Very good. Okie dokie. And then now we are going to working the coloring part. Okay, so on the package they have some kind of idea the color for you, right? And I already chose the few colors. Okay, here is like I said, I was talking about I only want to use 10, 12 color, no more than 10 or 12. And here is the trick. You are going to stick with one color tone. So if you want it like a yellow, just yellow, orange, a little bit red. If you want a gray color, stay with a gray color, add a little bit blue. So if you, this one is like a more coloring because of flower and birdie, right? But if this is your first project, try to stick with just a one color tone first. So I have this owl. I'm going to do kind of like a gray and blue color. So I have light gray, dark gray, a little be the other light gray, a little bit purple, and the black's good. So I have a 2 color for my leaf. I have a 2 brown, like these 2 brown for my branches, and 1 orange for the berry, and the 1 yellow for the beak. And then those color, they can be blending together. Okay, so here is something before we start. Is just a little bit basic skill. If you find it's boring, just fast forward it. So the water, the marker, the watercolor pencil is different with the pencil. Okay, the pencil, when you start, if you want a darker color, you have to, let me grab a piece of paper. Okay, so here's the pencil. If you want a darker color, you have to press hard, right? If you want a lighter color, you kind of release a little bit pressure and it become light, right? But on the pencil, watercolor pencil, they are completely opposite. If you want a very light color, you have to push very, very hard. Okay? If you want a darker color, you actually have to release a little bit pressure. See the difference? That's something different about the color pencil on the dark cardstock. Okay, so here is some basic technique, okay? You just practice a little bit before you start to coloring your final project. So when you color, you want a lighter color, you push hard. And then you want a darker color, you release a little bit pressure. And then when you color, don't try to color a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. You are going to try to color one direction. Okay, so that's try orange. Have you watched those like a YouTube channel teach you how to bake cake? So they was going to, you know, bake a Mickey Mouse or like a Hello Kitty. And then, so they follow the recipe, and then after that, when the cake comes from the oven, it's totally not the Mickey Mouse or the Hello Kitty. I saw one, they tried to make those minion, like those yellow character, and then they try to make a minion cake. And then when the cake comes out from the oven, you look like one sunny side up eggs. They completely don't see the shape. So anything you need require a little practice, and then there is always way to make it better. So here is just the basic technique. You remember, you want the hard, you push hard. So you want the light color, you push hard. You want a little bit last color, you release a little bit pressure, and then they can be blending the color together. So light green, dark green, you start with always start with a lighter color first. And then you can put the darker color on the lighter color. Same thing. Start with the hard, release a little bit pressure, so that 2 color they can be blending together. Okay, so to remember when you color them, keep at the 1 stroke. So that start or out first. Out, I am going to start with my yellow color first, because I am going to put those glossy eye on top. So, and we're going to just color the eyes first here, just give a little bit yellow, and the beak. I'm going to bring the camera a little bit forward, so beak. And then one more thing is very important. You got to have a 1 pencil sharpener ready. This technique require a point pencil. Okay, we need a pointy one. Like this is not point enough, so you're going to just turning okay. And be careful, those markers you don't want to drop on the floor, because if you drop on the floor, the lid is all broken, and then when you want to sharpen them, they keep break. Okay, so I have on my eye yellow, and I just give a little bit orange. Okay, so on the darker cardstock, and then that white pigment is helping to block some part of that dark cardstock, and then so after you add the pencil on top, they are going to show better. Okay, I am going to start with the gray color, and don't you worry if when you color them, your pencil, if you cannot stay inside the line, that's okay. Try to do your best, okay? If you can, later on I teach you how to fix it. So we start with a light color first. Okay, remember what did I say? You have to keep your stroke one direction only. Okay, one direction, one direction. That's how you do that. So I start with these light gray. And then I'm going to add a little bit darker gray. So basically your color pencil is you are painting on top of that white ink image. Okay, try to do your best, and then two color can be blending together like this. So I chose this out because it's smaller and I can finish it faster. Like these is seahorses, it cost me probably like 10 minutes. So, but you try to have fun, right? And then we can add a little bit blue, light blue. You want to use a light color. You don't want to use it too like a darker color. Just give a little bit color on top. If you find out this coloring is too boring, just fast forward and go for the final result. So basically, you just color the same image with pencil. Okay, so once when your foundation is finished, and I am going to use a little bit darker blue, kind of go around these outside. You know, be honest with you, not everybody can paint and draw, but everybody can stamp. But you can use the rubber stamp to create your own artwork. Okay, like this is a stamp. I'm sure when you finish your project, they are going to look exactly totally different like mine. So I'm going to give a little bit green for the leaves. Okay, so this is just take a little bit time while I'm coloring. So start with one green and a darker green on top of the light green. Okay, so I like to know who like to do those adult doodling, like you buy those kind of coloring book and you color them. Be honest with you, I don't like those stuff. It take forever. Like when I was in the art school, like when I was a kid, I never like a color book because I always get into trouble. I never color inside the line. I always color outside the line. And then my teacher think I'm kind of, weird kiddo, why? I just can't stay inside the line. Like those puzzle people find it is relaxing. For me, is torturing. So I like to know how many of you like to do those kind of doodling stuff. That's very interesting, right? So see my green, I just use a light green and dark green, and there's a lot more. So this tutorial, you are going to learn some great technique I'm going to share with you. So try to stay that white in stamp image, okay? And we give it a little bit berry, so that's pretty much about it. And I'm going to use a brown to color that branches, okay? Try to avoid those line if you can. Only color on the white stamping area. But if you can, like I can't really, because the line is too fine, right? If you can, that's okay, because I'm going to teach you how we can fix it after that. Okay, so here is something about me. I hate my job. What? You hate all these? No. This is not my job. This is actually my hobby. It's so much fun. Oh yeah, but Lisa, isn't you are the owner of the local king rubber stamp? Yes, but I don't really think this is a job. I really think this is a fun thing. So what is your job? What kind of job you hate? So because I spend most of my time, create those tutorial, to create the car, design the stamp, and then I already have a fun hobby because I never consider this is a job. So what is my job? I hate exercise, and I hate bicycle. I don't like to cook. I like to eat though. I just don't like outdoor activity. I love indoor. So I was I had this conversation with my husband a few days ago. He is concerned about my health because I spend most of my time create a tutorial, right? So he's really worried because I really don't move. And then I say, okay, so Lisa, because I need a hobby, right? And then, but I really have the most interesting hobby in the whole world. I can't ask for more. So what I'm gonna do? So I kind of reverse my lifestyle. I consider go to biking exercise is a job. And then, so, maybe some people, they don't like their job, but they still have to do it. So that's what I'm thinking about the exercise, cooking. So that's my job. So that way, maybe I just thinking, okay, I'm going to finish my job and I'm going to move on. And then now I can have a fun time. You have no idea. Every morning I wake up, so exciting to come to my studio and play. I really enjoy create a tutorial, reading your feedback in the morning. Okay, so after I finish so it's coming alive, right? You just have to build out a little bit, and then I use this darker purple, kind of go around this image, the owl. And then this black purple will helping that white, like a gray color, pop out more. Even the frame area, that rectangle frame, we kind of give it a little bit shadowing. Okay, and that's just consider keep adding it. So this car project is need a little bit more time to build out. Like I say, if you're the person who like doodling, puzzle, coloring, this is a great project for you because they really need the time to build up your image. So we're going to use just a little bit purple, kind of slowly do that. And let me see, sometime I just need I think this blue is perfect. I'm going to just do this one. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I'm kind of blending. Just to give a little bit, not shadow, is because this is reverse, right? Okay, and I'm going to use that purple to make these branches more pop out. So light, dark, light, dark. If you want to, like this is something pop out, you make sure you have a light color and darker color. Just add a little bit darker color beside that light color, and isn't that pretty? Okay, so let me see. Let's add a little bit brown. Let me see. This is brown color. Let's just give a little bit more coverage on the branches, and then we're going to move on to the next. Okay, so I think that's pretty much about it. Okay, so next, because I don't have my white pencil, I don't know where did my white pencil go. So it's a good idea to take a look at the package. They give you some idea, right? So around this area is actually white. So I just use this white uni bowl. Kind of give a little bit mustache. Okay. And then around the eye, we just draw some. You can kind of go all around it. Okay, just give it a little bit fatter looking, and then the other side a little bit. Okay, and that's the, and then on the body, the feather, you can kind of just give it a little bit dotting, because those dotting area, they supposed to be white, right? So look, those this white uni pen, how powerful it is. Okay, and where else? Let me just do the, and then put some dots on those berries, and let's do this one. Okay, so that's pretty much about it, right? And then now we're going to making a life. So I have a pen. Yes, here is a pen. Okay, and then I am going to go around his eye. Okay, before you can just take a look at that picture. The picture comes with it. I show you how. So you can draw a lot. The eye. See my eye, the right and the left. Okay, and but there is one more thing you have to do, because those pencil crayons, sometimes your ink, your pen probably pick up some pencil crayon, but just clean it with a wet cloth. With one eye and one is without eye, and then just give an eyeliner. Okay, or I'm going to show you my eyeball library. We can give him a glass eyeball. Okay, and then his beak, we can also give a little bit outline. And then now I'm going to just give my owl looks mad, I think because he's hungry. Is that cute? Okay, and then now I think that's pretty nice already, right? There's more we can do. Remember, we're talking about the background stamp. So the background stamp, I'm using this words background stamp. I just find that my background is a little bit empty, so I am going to just give a little bit color. Okay, almost there. So I am going to just add a little bit script. So same thing, just be gentle. You don't want to squeeze your impact just a little bit, and then I am going to just give it a little bit, just add a little bit to make it more interesting, right? Be cute. Isn't that pretty? I think that here that's good enough, and here we can put any sentiment if you want to. Well, it totally depends on what do you like. So I have my mountain here, and there is one more thing before we finish this one. Okay, so I think that's really pretty unique, right? Compare with markers or like the impact is totally different. And then here is the fun part. If you have been watching my other tutorial, remember I'm kind of working on my eyeball library, and then I think this one I like the right eye. I don't like the left eye. That right eye is cute, but left eye is kind of mad or something. So here is my eyeball library. I was playing it. Okay, so leave me a message if you like to learn, because this is, I don't think so it's too complicated. So, but if you want to learn how to make all these eyeball, leave me a comment. So I will create a YouTube to show you. Look, this one is have a black vein around the white area here. This one, can you see it? Isn't that cute? Okay, these Chinese eyes. I'm Chinese, so I can say we have a small eyes. And I accidentally put something on top, so this one is kind of ruining, but that's okay. A mosquito just bite his eyelid. And the one with the eyelashes, and this one, and this one, and then this one. Is that cute? And then there's one more. Oh, and these. Okay. You know, there's somebody's eyebrow is like a one they call unibrow, and then this one I actually to put too much. They call uni eye. It's a movie. What did you call? They have a name. The creator have one eye. Please leave me a comment. Let me know. So these is a different kind of eyes here. Okay, if you would like to learn how to make all those eyeball, just leave me a comment and I will create a tutorial for that. So this one is a particular eyeballs that have a name for that. This is my husband when he see this month's Visa card bill. That's what he look like with his eye. Okay, and then so I found out this one eyeball that I really like is this one. So you it's so cute. Okay, so and then you can put a little diamond glaze on top too. So in my last tutorial I was showing you that you can create few of them. But this technique is not suitable to make a big eyeballs, because if you make it too big, they actually crack and then also they collapse. So you are going to lose that shape. So cute. And then, do you like with eyeball or without eyeball? So you're going to use a glue dot, just glue it, and then here you can put any words, any sentiment you like. So that's today's tutorial. I hope you like, and one of the customer, they leave a good feedback. I put on regular cardstock, but try to use a parchment or wax paper, maybe the time, and then you can create a lot of them. And when you need it, you just peel off one of the eyeball. Look at this one, cute. And actually this orange part is I try to create those kind of eye, like those bag under the eyes. So I'm going to kind of play around to see which eyes are better to go with my owl. So this is today's tutorial. I hope you like. There's a lot of more tutorial coming soon, and then leave me a feedback. Let me think how do you think are the new design. Those new design, I hope they will be launched by mid-June, and I have some exciting news I maybe like to share with you soon. So this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp, and see you next time.